All right, stop what you're doing for a second. Seriously, I'm about to tell you the exact reason your business idea is stuck in park. And more importantly, I'm going to give you a really simple, yeah, kind of uncomfortable challenge that will absolutely demolish that fear for good. Let's jump right in.
You know that feeling, right? That pit in your stomach when you even think about selling something? Well, let's just get one thing straight. It has absolutely nothing to do with your product or your logo or how slick your website is. Nope. The real reason is much, much deeper. And honestly, it's something every single one of us has to deal with.
Look, you can spend months, even years, tweaking your business plan, right? Doing endless research, designing the perfect logo, all that stuff. And it feels productive, doesn't it? It feels safe. But here's the truth. That's not the real work, and it is definitely not the real problem.
That's it. That's the big, scary monster under the bed. A deep, almost primal fear of hearing someone say no. It's the one thing that keeps so many brilliant people as wantrepreneurs instead of actual entrepreneurs. It's a total paralysis that stops you from making the one move that actually gets the ball rolling.
Now, according to Noah Kagan, the guy who founded AppSumo, this fear isn't some deep personality flaw. And that's the good news. He says it's just an untrained muscle. A muscle that, for most of us, is super, super weak. Why? Because we spend all our time in the gym of safety and planning. And that stuff just doesn't pay the bills. Action does.
So let's give it a name. We're going to call it the ask muscle. Just think about it for a second. Every single important thing in business happens because of an ask. You ask someone to buy your product. You ask another company to partner with you. You ask an investor for money. If your ask muscle is weak, you're basically sitting on the sidelines before the game has even started.
It really breaks down into two camps. Over here on the left, you've got the safety of how. This is where you do endless research and perfect your plans. It feels good, it protects your ego, but you know what? It goes nowhere. Then, over on the right, you have the power of now. This means taking immediate steps, accepting a little risk, and actually building that muscle. This is the only side that gets results. So, which side are you on right now?
You know, Noah Kagan's analogy here is just perfect. You can read every book in the world about how a bicycle works, but you'll never learn to ride it until you actually get on. You have to be okay with the fact that you're going to wobble. You might even fall and scrape your knee. Well, that little scrape, that is rejection. And it's just a normal, necessary part of learning how to move forward.
So, if the problem is just a weak muscle and being afraid of scraping our knee, then the solution has to be a workout, right? A training program. We need a way to cure this fear by running straight at it and in the process actually turn the word no into our greatest tool for growth.
And this is the big question, isn't it? If making the ask is so critical, but it's also so terrifying, how in the world do you build up that strength without just giving up? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy.
Welcome to something called rejection therapy. Yeah, it sounds intense, but the idea is actually genius. You intentionally, on purpose, seek out rejection. You go looking for the no. Why? The goal is to completely disconnect your feeling of self-worth from the answer you get. Whether someone says yes or no has nothing to do with who you are.
And this leads to a massive mental shift. You have to reframe what rejection means. And no isn't a judgment on you. It's just a piece of data. That's it. Suddenly, your job isn't to get a yes anymore. Your new job is to collect no's. It becomes a game. And what's cool is, in this game, every single no you get is proof that you're getting one step closer to an eventual yes.
Okay, that's enough theory. It's time to actually do something. Time for your first rep, your first dose of rejection therapy. This is the exact step-by-step exercise Noah Kagan tells people to do to start building that ask muscle, like right now. It's called the coffee challenge.
The instructions couldn't be simpler. The very next time you buy a coffee or a tea or anything cheap, you're going to make one small request. When they tell you the price, you're going to look them in the eye, smile, and politely but confidently ask, "Can I get 10% off?" And then you just wait. They're going to say no, almost 100% of the time. And all you do is say, "Okay, thanks anyway," and pay the price. Just 10%. It's such a small, silly number. But the mental barrier to asking for it feels huge, right? And that's the whole point. It's supposed to be an unreasonable ask. You're not actually supposed to get the discount. You are supposed to ask for it and survive the no.
And this, right here, is the entire secret. This whole challenge has absolutely nothing to do with saving 25 cents. It is 100% about pushing through that one terrifying, awkward moment of asking, hearing the no, and realizing, hey, I'm okay. Nothing bad happened. I survived.
You know that little rush of relief you'll feel right after it's over? That feeling of, "Phew, okay, I did it." That is it. That's the feeling of a muscle fiber getting stronger. You've just sent a powerful signal to your brain that says, see, rejection isn't dangerous. It's safe to ask.
So, where do we go from here? How does one awkward moment buying a coffee actually connect to landing your biggest clients and goals? Let's connect the dots and lay out your action plan.
Your path forward is so simple and so clear. You need to do the coffee challenge today. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Today. By doing it, you're going to prove to your own brain that you are safe. You're going to take that first step in strengthening your ask muscle, and you'll immediately jump ahead of 90% of your competition who are still stuck back in the safety of planning.
So I'll just leave you with this one final question to think about, because the line between these two things is direct and it is unbreakable. If you can't bring yourself to ask for a 10-cent discount, how are you ever going to ask a client for $10,000? It all starts with this one tiny step. So, what are you waiting for?